Hello my friends, this is an update on the predictions for the Ukraine war. Periodically I make a video to see how accurate the forecasts have been. I've made a lot of very specific predictions, and so I want to go over what's happened in the last few months. And this is, it's stunning, shocking. I can hardly believe it myself, how accurately we are making these predictions. So this is an update. In the last update that I made in September, I said, well, let's see what happens as we head into November and see if the forecast will be true for November. It's November 2nd, at the beginning of the month, and it's already happening. So I want to go over this to see how this plays out. Before I go into the specifically what's happening today on November 2nd, showing up in the news for information that's happening yesterday, November 1st, and how accurately we've predicted this. Let me first review a few things very quickly. We're talking about cosmic cybernetics. I'm just going to go over this quickly for those of you who might be new to this or haven't caught up with the latest changes. We're now increasingly calling this system cosmic cybernetics. We're calling it astrology less and less. And here's the reason why. Because what we're doing in cosmic cybernetics is we found one thread of ideas handed down through the thousands and thousands of ideas passed down through generations in India, in Europe, passed on to America. And South America has also its own indigenous forms of astrology. Well, every part of the world does. All these ideas passed down because they work as people use them, and they're passed down. But what distinguishes cosmic cybernetics is that we're using modern research methods. We're using analysis of database, cutting edge analytical tools to see what's really going on. And we found one little thread of ideas, and that has expanded into a whole new world. We use data visualization tools like what we see below. We do statistical analysis, all kinds of things, and then we apply these ideas in the real world. So cosmic cybernetics is an evidence-based practice, just like psychology and medicine and many other fields are. And there are three parts to this evidence-based practice. I've got them listed here, 1, 2, 3. One is the evidence from controlled research studies using modern research methods. And also, just to go over this a little bit, what do we mean by modern research methods? There are many of them. They range in the levels of confidence that they give us in an idea. Among the research methods that give us the greatest confidence are what are called strict hypothesis tests, especially strict hypothesis tests that give quantitative results. These give the highest level of confidence. Why is it we don't just do that if that gives the greatest confidence? Because very often we have to build models by doing exploratory research. Many kinds of research methods can help increase confidence, make the theories clearer, till we can get to that, you might say, pinnacle of the strict hypothesis test. We're doing all of this in cosmic cybernetics, including strict hypothesis tests. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. That's one piece of evidence. Number two, in an evidence-based practice, you apply it in the real world. If something only works in the, quote, laboratory, with the data, but then you go to apply it in the real world and it's not really helpful, we have problems. So we apply it in the real world. And that's one of the reasons why, the main reason why I make these predictions about public events, political events like wars and other things, so that we can see if the ideas prove useful in the real world. We are doing this now with large businesses, but that is primarily confidential. So I like to do things that are in public for everybody to watch. You can watch all 12 videos, see how this works in the real world. Anybody who watches all 12 videos will be, it's really amazing how well it works. Number three, it's nice if you have theory to support the ideas. Like, why the heck would the planets have anything to do with our lives is rather mysterious. Theory is not essential, but it helps. And we have very advanced theory to help us as well. And all of this is publicly available in over 650 YouTube videos and counting. that go into great detail on all these things. Okay, well, let's get into the update. Well, if we go back to all the way back to January, it was January 28th, 2023, the 8th video that I made in this series of what is now the 12th video. I'm going to read this bold part from point number 3. Prediction that Ukraine cannot win this war without extreme obliteration of Russia. Wow. I mean, that is an amazing prediction. What I predicted is Ukraine can't win the war. They would have to almost completely destroy Russia. Well, if that's true, then the entire strategy of NATO, of the United States, is doomed to failure. Because the idea is supply Ukraine with weapons, push them out, regain that territory on the east side of Ukraine that Russia claimed. Done deal. I said back in January 2023, I actually said it before then, but I made it very clear, it won't work. It won't work. Now, do I know that? Am I 100% sure? No, I'm not. But the model indicates that that's true. If you want to understand how that forecast was made, watch all 12 videos. I explain it in detail. But that was a bold, out of the box, way outside the normal spectrum of ideas. The support for the Ukraine war, for the Ukrainians from the West was very strong. And generally believed, sure, this can happen. It'll be difficult, but let's support it. What happened? I said it won't work. Now we're seeing in the news today more and more evidence that people are coming to the conclusion. It's amazing how the Cosmic Cybernetics model can see these dynamics before almost anyone else can see it among the political experts. Okay, and there are other things on here. I'm not going over all this. There's tons more that are in those previous videos. Just making a few points relevant to what I'm going to show you happened in today's news. Confirming, again, the extraordinary accuracy of these predictions. It just even blows my mind. It's amazing how well this works. It blows my mind every time I do a new study with the databases or apply it. The model is real. It's incredible. If we go back to June, in a video called Ukraine War Update, June 2023, you can find these videos and watch them. It's in 2 parts. I'll read the bold part. The West will finally realize that negotiation and acceptance of Russian occupation of Eastern region may be necessary. May be necessary. Oh, I don't have the date here, but I'm saying between September and December. I didn't copy the full thing. So what I was saying is that by the time we get to late autumn and into winter, which is where we are now, early November, doubts start to increase. People start to think, oh my God, maybe we can't win this war. What? I mean, it's not a matter of what I want. It's not a matter of what I prefer. If I say Ukraine can't win the war, does that mean I'm pro-Russian or something? No, of course not. If I say I give my 14-year-old son or daughter the keys to the car and let them drive and they haven't gotten proper lessons and I say they might get into an accident, does that mean I don't love my son or daughter? No, it means I'm worried about them. I'm worried about the Ukraine. They can't win. That's what I'm saying. And now I predicted it would take a long time heading into the winter of 2023, right where we are now, when other people would realize what I knew in January and even before then. How did I know it? Is it because I'm so brilliant? No, it's because the Cosmic Cybernetics works. Anybody can learn the system. And the model is improving rapidly. Okay, so another prediction I made, well, this is along the same lines that I made in June. This is back in June 2023. that people, here I make it clear, from September to December, and I put in bold, people will question previous strategies. I'm going to give you a quote from the Prime Minister of Italy, how yesterday she said, we are now questioning our strategies. Not just her, but the European leaders. And it was actually a leak that they are now saying, I think our strategies may have been wrong. I told them this back in January, that your strategies are not working. We can see these forces. I know it sounds unbelievable. I know it sounds ridiculous. You know, people said, I'm going to hold this little box and hear music on it. If they said this in the year 1800, before the radio was invented, you would say, you're a little crazy. You're not going to have a little metal box and pick up signals from far away and hear music and news on it. You're really in science fiction land. Well, now, you know, we've gone way beyond that. So what I'm suggesting is not even as wild and crazy as previous breakthroughs. And it's all very consistent with scientific theory. Believe it or not, you have to watch this new information. This is not astrology. This is a whole new world. It looks like astrology, and they say it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck. Well, it is astrology in the sense there's cosmic things going on, but it's not just information passed down, and it's 99% of what we do is not used in astrology, like almost none of it. Anyway, so here I said, also in June, I made it clear, November 2023, I specified November. We're at the beginning of November. I thought it would become obvious around the middle of November. It's already breaking through on November 1st, in the news on November 2nd, people getting tired of the war. They're not talking about truce yet, partial truce. They're not saying that yet. It's coming. It's coming. I'm telling you that's my forecast. Well, I could be wrong. Not 100% sure of these things. So far, the forecasts have been shockingly accurate, more accurate than I expected. I expect 80 to 85% accuracy. I expect to be wrong periodically. And I've had one or two minor mistakes, but very minor. We're way over 95% accuracy, no matter how you measure it. It's even better than I thought. Okay, so here's the news. What is this news that I'm talking about? Okay, well, I'll show you these websites. I don't look at the news every day, but I happened to look today, and I went to Google and I typed Ukraine war news. Because I was thinking, wow, we're at the beginning of November. I wonder if there's some little hints of it. Oh my God. Two big things. The title of the article is called Ukraine War Live Updates. Ukraine's top military leader says war is at a stalemate and a beautiful breakthrough is unlikely. Whoa. The top military leader stated we might be in a stalemate. Unbelievable. This is exactly what I said back in January. That in November, people would start to doubt that they could win the war. He's the top leader. I mean, this is just like crazy that we can actually see these forces and what's likely to happen. Even when we see the forces, it's not a crystal ball. It's like looking at a car driving a certain number of miles per hour or kilometers per hour, and where it's likely to end up, things can change. It's like a weather forecast. This is the way the wind is blowing, etc. I don't know. Life is complicated. Things can change. It's unbelievable that based on the trajectory of the energy as seen a year ahead of time, those outcomes are happening. And here's the article. Let me bring it up. So here it is at CNBC.com. Ukraine top military leader says war is at a stalemate. A beautiful breakthrough. This is unlikely. So this article appears under many different news media. This is just the one from CNBC. You'll see it reported by other news media. I mean, it happened. It's not some just NBC's view of it. This is what happened. Ukraine's commander-in-chief conceded that there have been few gains in the 5-month-long counteroffensive to retake Russian-occupied territory. That was my prediction. In the winter and early spring of 2023, I predicted that in the summer, Ukraine would make some major advances. Around May and June they did, but with some disappointment, Russia would come back. It's exactly what happened. Now he's repeating almost verbatim what the Cosmic Cybernetics analysis showed us. It's just phenomenal. Likening the current state of conflict to World War I, in which battles fought over a few miles of territory at the expense of huge numbers of men, Ukraine's general Valery Zaluzhny said the war had reached an impasse. Oh my God. This is exactly what I predicted. There would be most likely no deep and beautiful breakthrough. I mean, it's disheartening. Maybe, there's nothing to laugh about. I'm excited that the forecast is correct. It's horrifying to think of the number of people who've been wounded and injured, families disrupted. I mean, so much pain and agony, resources. The land has been polluted. The beautiful farming land of Ukraine experiencing a lot of pollution. I mean, one disaster after another. For what? For what? Yes, it's a noble cause. Of course it's a noble cause. But you have to look at the reality. Using Cosmic Cybernetics, we could see this reality, and we see it unfolding almost exactly as stated. Okay, there is now, as if that's not enough, another amazing thing happens in the news today. I don't know if the media is going to, the popular media or alternative media is going to pick up on these things. Attention is now shifted to Israel and other things. But it's what's happening. Here's an article, and this appears from many different media sources. This is from The Guardian. This is amazing. The Italian Prime Minister, I don't know how to say her name properly, so I apologize. I'm just going to use the English version of her first name, Giorgia. I know that's not how you say it. I'm sorry. Giorgia Meloni, Prime Minister of Italy. She was misled into a phone conversation. So someone calls her, says that they are a political leader in Africa. They fooled her and the whole security system. And she admits it. It was a prank caller posing as an African leader, and the prank worked. They were fooled. So the security system didn't detect that this was not really a leader of Africa. They happened to be comedians, two fellows who are comedians. Obviously, they know how to act and imitate things, and they pulled it off. And she revealed some, you might say, more inside information, and now it's been published. It's kind of like a leak through somebody's prank that worked. And what she told this person, I think this was yesterday, just as we head into November, all this is starting to happen. She states, let's go down here, quote, there is, of course this is probably a translation, I don't know if she's speaking in English or what language, but anyway, there is a lot of tiredness on all sides, Meloni is heard saying regarding Russia's war in Ukraine. The moment is approaching when everyone will understand that we need a way out. Oh my God. This is what I predicted. That in November, from out of, you might say from out of nowhere, as this war's been dragging on for what, a year and a half or so, and I guess it's over a year and a half. And now, after all this optimism, all this flag waving, all this bravado, all this cheering, that it's not going to work? Let me read this again. The moment is approaching. It's approaching. It's the beginning of November. This is exactly what I predicted as we head into November. This is it is approaching, when everyone will understand that we need a way out. Oh my God. She goes on. Ukraine's counteroffensive is not going as expected. It has not changed the fate of the conflict. And everyone understands that the conflict could last many years if we don't find a solution. The Ukrainians are doing what they have to do, and we are trying to help them. If government leaders could use this new technology, we have the book that I published last year, we have the information, we have a new nonprofit research institute. This is real stuff. This is not some flaky woo-woo thing. This is a new technology that big businesses are starting to use. It really works. It has nothing to do with the models used in other forms of astrology. 99% different. These are based on modern research methods. Let me read on here. The problem, Maloney said, was, quote, finding a way out that is acceptable for both sides without destroying international law. That's exactly right. It's exactly right. I am glad that at least one European leader sees the reality. Now listen to this. This is Prime Minister Maloney speaking. I have some ideas on how to manage this situation, but I'm waiting for the right moment to put them on the table. I could actually help pick a right moment. It's got to be done soon, because it's only going to get worse, not going to get better. So there we are. Now listen to this. This is the last thing I'm going to quote from. It's just amazing. She said, quote, Europe has for a long time thought that it could solve the problem by limiting it to Italy. What they don't understand is that that's impossible. The dimension of this phenomenon is such that it involves not only the EU, but in my opinion, also the UN. The problem is that others don't care, and everyone agrees that Italy must solve this problem alone. It's a problem for the whole Western world that this is happening. Okay, so let's go back to our PowerPoint presentation here. Two articles in today's news, November 2nd, 2023. From out of nowhere, yesterday, I didn't see real, solid, concrete evidence that there's enough disappointment. Of course, the polls. I read about the polls. Reuters has a poll showing it's almost 50-50 now. The support for the Ukraine war in the United States is getting closer and closer to 50-50. Within a month or two, at the rate it's going, it will be 50-50. Instead of the great majority of people saying, let's send more money, weapons, etc. to Ukraine, that is that's shifting. Number of people for it is going down, number of people against is going up. So I knew that the polls are there, but that it's hit critical mass among the leaders. It's already happening in early November. So, and it's becoming public information. So that's it. I just wanted to give you this update. It's just so shocking to me that as of yesterday, I said, well, wait, that's why I looked this morning. I said, I wonder if there's any little hints about my forecast in November, maybe just a little bit. It'll only take me a second. I'll just look real quickly. Bam. Popped right up in the Google search. So I just wanted to share it with you. Exciting that this model is working in the actual real world. We're using it with large international businesses. A lot of people are realizing they're becoming first adopters of this new technology. But I like making these public ones so that more people can know about this. So there you have it. And if you're, I know what I was going to say. If you're interested in the details, like you're saying, well, what is this? How did you do it? You can go to theastrologydc.com and it gives you an index into it. Let me show you that real quick. You go to astrologydc, helps if I put my fingers in the right place. Astrologydc.com, very simple website with just a few buttons. Click on links to YouTube videos And this gives you an index into over 150 of the videos. I'm almost up to, I think up to 680 videos. So they're not all here, but most of them are here. Eventually I'll get all of them into this index. And somewhere down here, mundane, politics, elections. Oh, here it is. Under this mundane financial political section, mundane cycles, weather, crime, here are the videos about the Ukraine war. So I don't know if I put all 11 there yet that have been done so far. It looks like probably I did. And now I'm making the 12th one. So I'm making the videos, uploading them to YouTube, and then when I find time, I come in here, add them in here so that to help find them. An enormous free resource. Last thing I want to say before we close out, that ties right into what I'm saying, is it's a free resource. If you're a subscriber, thank you. That helps promote the channel. Also lets you get updates of when new videos come out. And I do have a membership. There's 2 memberships, $5 a month, $10 a month. What do you get for the membership? You get the satisfaction of knowing you're supporting this and contributing. You're not getting anything tangible for it. You have access to all the videos. So I'm just giving this to you. There are a lot of generous, kind-hearted people who can afford the $5 or $10 a month, and people are contributing. Thank you so much for your would amount to donations, becoming a member. If you want to become a member and you're not, just click on the join button. There's a join button on my YouTube channel. So let's go to it. If I go to YouTube and I go to, if you search for Cosmic Cybernetics, I've just changed the name of it. Let's see if it finds it. It might not be in this search yet. I'll put my name. So there it is. So I just changed the name.
It's not difficult.
Whoa, let me.
But life is hard.
let me.
It's hard for all of us. All the money in the world is.
Oh, I don't know if you heard that. I had the speaker on, start playing this thing. I now call it Cosmic Cybernetics and Cosmobiology. So here it is, and you'll see a join button right there, join. If you don't see it, you're probably on an Apple, on the iPhone, using the YouTube app, and for some strange reason, the Apple YouTube app doesn't show the join button. It's like a bug in their YouTube app for the iPhone. You can just go to Chrome or any other browser, Safari, any browser, and go to youtube.com, find it, and you'll see the join button. So there's a YouTube app that has a bug in it, but if you just go to the website through a browser, you'll see it. Okay, that's it, my friends. Just another update as we apply these ideas to real-world situations, see if they work. Like a lot of what we do in Cosmic Cybernetics, it never ceases to amaze me because this model, it's only been developed in the last 10 to 20 years. In the last 5 years, it's gotten tremendously improved. It's still new and fresh, and it's just stunning, the breakthroughs that we're making. Okay, thank you very much for listening. God bless. Namaste.